Hello. Very good afternoon. Greetings from Amsterdam, everyone. My name is Tariq Valente. I'm the VP of Global Sales at Surfly. Before we begin, you've probably seen a QR code down on the bottom left of your screen. You can get your phone out and put it up, and we've got a virtual goodie bag to find out more. But I myself, I've been in tech for 10 years. I've previously pushed a company to an IPO and a Google acquisition, and I really love my tech. I'm a bit of an outsider to insurance, but the first day at Surfly on my journey here was on a plane to Vegas for InsurTech Connect, and I instantly fell in love with what's happening in the industry. It's such an exciting time. There's so much change, and it's been all kind of a rocket ship we've been riding since. A bit about us, because you're probably thinking Surfly, surf who? Well, like I said, we're based in Amsterdam. Our mission is to innovate online interactions. We have 34 superstars with 23 nationalities, which is up from just 9 at the beginning of 2020. We've raised €3.5 million and currently raising a Series A. And we have 200,000 superheroes who use our technology globally. Our licensing is a SaaS licensing, and we have a very attractive partner program, partners with the likes of Cisco and Nice in Contact and DXC. Benefits for insurance, we usually talk about customer acquisition and onboarding. How do you transform your customer experience and your NPS? How do you transform your customer care and your digital adoption? And how do you humanize those claims experience? And we've been winning a lot of awards globally too, most recently in the UK, where we reached the grand finale of the UK government's Tech Rocket Ships, which is later this month. And in Singapore, we won the Creating the New Normal competition at the Singapore FinTech Festival out of 7,000 companies. Here's some of our customers and partners, some big names that you might know. You see the AXA logo. I'm going to be joined by Bryan, who's the Chief Data Officer at AXA Singapore shortly. But let's kick into it, because I'm sure you're here for a story. And let's talk about this new remote reality, which has been a test for lots of distribution leaders around the world. It started with this big elephant, where for the past year, we've been trying to find new ways to connect with our loved ones, with our customers, with our colleagues. I think we all agree here that shift happens. And it's a time of global transformation where every industry on the face of the planet is is forced to adapt to this new remote reality. One of those industries is life insurance. And in this McKinsey report, it clearly points out that massive shift that we're talking about. Agents who have been accustomed to in-person interactions have had to rapidly recalibrate to providing an uninterrupted digital service to their customers who are probably facing health and economic challenges. And to pull that further, we're talking about a shift towards a rapid shift towards digitalization. So 89% was a survey that was done across European insurance executives, and they've all agreed that things are shifting at a much more accelerated pace, as well as the channel mix which you use in distribution. But if we look back at the past 5 years before 2019, that shift from that picture above doesn't look that big. But of course, now we have bancassurance, movements in bancassurance. We have the big guys like Amazon coming in. But if we look at this other report from TBRC, they still see a growth in the agent and broker market. We also see a big shift in the InsurTech funding. This was from Willis Towers Watson back in January, a report that they did, and this is growing. But this can be seen as challenges, or this could be seen as opportunity. An opportunity to innovate around your customer experience, an opportunity to find new distribution mechanisms, whether that's through M&A or whether that's using your existing workforce. Here's a report that was done from the Life Insurance Marketing Research Association in the US. And they showed that a quarter of people purchased life insurance for the first time after COVID. And that we can see a sudden change in attitude as 66% also value that life insurance now. And I think this can be seen the same as health. In the goodie bag over there on the right hand side, you can find that in your goodie bag, that report. But we also see a big shift in access to digital insurance, right? And so this is a survey from Spain, which they showed last year, that access to digital services from insurance providers increased by 30%, which is great. But across every industry, insurance still has the most dissatisfaction. And the number one reason, hard to use tools. Hard to use tools for the customers, hard to use tools for the agents. And it has to be a bigger focus from insurance companies to really improve these toolings that they give to their agents and customers. From an agent perspective, what they want to see is they want to, they've identified from this report from McKinsey that they want to see e-signatures. They want to see dynamic application and submission forms, and they want to see client onboarding tools in order to help protect their customers better. At Surfly, we always talk about the digital journey. How can we improve that? There's no more people going into the branch. There's no more sitting on a kitchen table and explaining a life insurance policies. There's no more printing forms or photocopying things in. We need to reimagine this whole journey. And one way we do it at Surfly is just providing a really simple, fast, and secure way to connect agents up with customers. And hold on until the end, because I've got a really interesting live demo for you guys to see just how easy that is. But this is it. What we want to create here is the next wave of insurance agent superheroes. We want to create superheroes who have the right tooling, who are empowered with the right tools and the right soft skills to go ahead and protect their customers. And on that note, I'm going to shift gears here and I'm going to introduce Hang 5. Hang 5 is actually a surfing terminology, guys. It's a move whereby you stand at the front of the board with your 5 toes over the board, and this is in testament of our the innovators that are in the industry, the trendsetters, the tech enthusiasts. I am trying to kind of create a series around Hang 5, which is a 5-minute short chat with the experts in the area. So if you're interested, please do reach out. I'd love the opportunity to interview you. But to kick things off, our first special guest is going to be Bryan Lee, who's AXA Singapore's Chief Data Officer. Welcome, Bryan.
Hey, Tariq. Hey, everyone. How are you doing?
All good, man. All good. Thanks for joining us here. And
great.
So just a few questions I just wanted to kind of ask you. I know you're over in Singapore and lots of interesting things happening over there. What are some of those distribution trends that you see in Asia right now?
Yeah, Tariq. I think like what you mentioned, the shift is happening already, right? And beyond these hard to use tools and all, I think what we really see is definitely greater connectivity, connectedness, mobility. I think the customers are becoming more and more demanding, right? In Singapore and Asia, they're connected all the time, and of course, because of these tools, they get to be more demanding. They're expecting responses. They're expecting to buy the services or insurance products online very quickly, intuitively, and being serviced on the spot. And they're looking at electronic point of sale systems and everything online. This has gone beyond the olden days whereby insurance was going by paper, right? And traditional payment modes, cash checks. This has forced insurance to go e-payments and paperless and all. I think these are the trends that we are seeing these days, right? While the customers are leveling up the game, the agents have to level up the game even more. Thus, the insurers have to follow suit. So yes, these are a couple of the trends that we see in these days.
Cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. That move from paper to digital, that's, we're seeing it across the world too. And what about some of those initiatives that you're spearheading at AXA Singapore to help drive that distribution, which we see as a big challenge nowadays?
Yep. So the journey has started for some time before this, besides driving traffic to our customer portal, because the goal is we want to enable our customers to be able to access what they need intuitively online through our self-service portal. So that will really create a lot of efficiency on the insurer side as well as the customer side. And besides bringing our point of sale, e-commerce online and allowing the customers to purchase certain insurance online and speak to an advisor anytime they want. I think what we are creating, right, is an ecosystem to allow, even our agents, intermediaries, to connect with us, to partner with us on this digital journey, right, to enable them, right, giving them the right tools. To your point a bit earlier on the hard to use tools, how can we improve these tools so that the agents, because in Singapore we have agents, ranging from as young as early 20s once they come out from the studies, or even as up to maybe 60, 70 or 80 years old, right, who may not be as digitally savvy as you know the younger folks and all. So we have to ensure that the right tools for everyone, and they can enable them to service their customers in an efficient way. So I think that's the key thing. And in these days, you'll probably hear the word data a lot, and definitely leveraging on data, right, to empower the agents to do cross-selling, right, among their current customers, because they probably have tons of customers to call, to look at. And I think if an efficient way of managing these customers, you know, their leads, their prospects, would definitely help them a little bit more, right? So I think besides cross-selling, we also help the product managers, the insurance managers as well, and agents, right, to understand our products better. So that involves dissecting the complex, often said complex insurance products, right, into something that's more simplified. So we spend a lot of time simplifying the journey for the customers mainly, as well as for the agents. So it's really seamless for them, and you know, as much as possible, we try to shorten the time whereby they, you know, for an agent to close a transaction, right? And definitely, you know, one key thing, Tariq, you know, is, you know, Singapore, it's moving quite fast, and the government in Singapore, through GovTech, right, is innovating greatly, and we're leveraging on services such as government identity, you know, services for us to be able to tap on those to allow customers to seamlessly log into portals, for us to be able to access, you know, for them to be able to quickly pre-fill application forms. You know, you use that like the 2 to 3, 4 pages of application forms where they can fill it up very quickly within a few clicks, using like the Singapore Pass, they call it SingPass in Singapore, under the National Digital Identity Services. So there's quite a lot of things that's going on. I can't list all of them, but at the end of the day, it's really the customer first.
Awesome, nice. Sounds like you've got like a Pandora's box of digital transformation going on there. It sounds really, but really good stuff though. You know, it's and it's yeah. Thanks for sharing the insight. On to question number 3: how did the pandemic impact your agents, and how have you helped them to adapt to digital?
So I think, Tariq, it definitely did impacted us a lot, because insurance, as you're aware, besides being online, it is an agent's business. And with the lockdown, if I recall very clearly back in March, when we were announced that the country's going to lock down for like you know, who knows when, until it will come back again, we were all taken aback, and we need to move very quickly, right? So the agents, you know, traditionally who meets up with their customers at Starbucks, you know, to take the laptops so that they can show them the policies, the quotations, the illustrations, that can no longer happen, right? Everything has to be done. Other means like digital, for example, right? And I think that's how we quickly maneuvered, right? And you know, we had to go digital as quick as possible, not just on the front end, but even the back end, because we can't just digitize in front end. And when it comes to processing the policies, you know, everything is still bottleneck at the back. So it's really front to the back, and it wasn't easy. So everyone had to rein in together to look at, you know, solutions out there that could really help us to move very quickly, and at the end of the day, to keep the business going and to keep servicing the customers and to meet their needs. I think that's what we were striving to do.
I think it's quite an accomplishment, because I guess, you know, moving a company like AXA, you know, a big company with that agility, it just shows that it is possible, right, to move quickly. So great stuff. And you know, the final one, I mean, why did you see Surfly ourselves as an ideal partner to help overcome those distribution channels? And can you talk about our project and success to the audience?
Yeah, so back to my earlier response in March. So I think I still recall when you know, when that happened, when the announcement came, we struggled to look for an online tool for the agents and the customers to communicate, right? So the natural means we'll look at Skype, Zoom, you know, the online tools that's available out there. And I still recall we found you guys Surfly, right, on online, and I think it was very quick. Within a night, we reached out to LinkedIn and we connected. We spoke over the phone, and we got a demo account the next day. And I think that was what we needed. We needed an online tool to not just communicate. So beyond the lens of like Zoom, Skype, MS Teams, we needed a tool that could allow our agents to be able to show their, you know, the quotations, the policies, do remote advisory online. And to the point whereby if, let's say, the customer agrees to buy, right, instead of mailing the application form over, you know, emailing, stuff like that, what we wanted, you know, the customer to be able to perform the signature online, right, and have the e-signature submitted through the form, because we have a custom-made point of sale system, right? And it wasn't any ordinary tool like Skype, Zoom, and all that could help us, because we needed the customer, to come in and have the video and sound turn on and do screen sharing and stuff like. There's a whole suite of requirements that we had, and I think what I really appreciated, Tariq, about Surfly was how you guys came on board so quickly. Within we're talking about weeks, less than even a sprint. How you help us to brought you brought the portal online for us and met our requirements. I know we had a couple of requirements changing, weeks after weeks, and you help us to resolve them. And I think what really, beyond the tool and the platform, what we really appreciated Surfly was how you guys will be able to innovate and change so fast according to what we need. So I guess that allowed us to be able to onboard our close to 1,000 agents within weeks. I recall it was just so seamless, and we didn't really have an instruction guide. It was just log in and use it, and start connecting to the point of sales tool, and I think that the agents really love it. And I know we met up with some hiccups in the initial stage, but I love how you guys, how you and your tech team resolve these so far, and here we are using that. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks.
No, Bryan, hey, thank you so much for joining us. It's really great, and I know it's late over there, 11 p.m. over in Singapore, but really appreciate it, and yeah, looking forward to continuing our partnership. Thanks, Bryan.
The privilege is mine. Thanks. Take care, Tariq.
Take it easy, Bryan. So yeah, that was a bit about our story with AXA. Let's shift gears. I know I'm running out of time. I do want to get to the demo, so I'm going to talk really fast here, but feel free to pass by the booth afterwards. Let's talk about the strategies. How can we create more personal, human, and collaborative remote sales experience? Generali is one of our other customers. And this year, or last year, shall I say, they announced the first global advertising campaign in the history of their company. Pretty big. They also have a strategy which is called Lifetime Partner, about enabling a purpose. We heard Clary from Zurich talk about it yesterday, enabling a purpose-driven organization, how branding is so important for that, and how we need to make insurance sexy, really, right? Across the board. It's also about how we can, focus on that culture. It's more than numbers. I've been in sales for 10 years, in technology, and I always focus on the culture first, right? Because if the culture's right, you get the numbers. And I think they do such a great job, even when you look at how they recognize the agents, how they create this winning culture, how they create a culture where agents want to be part of and agents want to sell that product. I think it's absolutely fundamental to being successful, besides enabling the training, besides enabling them to share knowledge, and as well as the right tools. Achmea, another insurance company, leading insurance group in the Netherlands, who work with us across their commercial, health, and auto division. You've probably got pictures like this, and it's nothing new, but we are heading towards prevention. So how can you extend that insurance value proposition? How can you focus on expanding distribution partners which are outside of your core products? Because in a world where you have virtual agents, it's absolutely key that they can keep adding value. And the way you add values is by branching out. Let's look at telco, for example, right? The same thing's happening where you need to find new streams of revenue and new streams of adding value to your clients. And it is more than the data, because if we look at Ping An, which is one of the biggest insurance and tech powerhouses in China, they have 1.1 million agents selling their policies. And even though they're building this castle of data, they know that the killer app for wooing customers is that actual human. If we look here, this is a graph that our CEO, who's got a master's in artificial intelligence, likes to show us. You think, oh, great, you know what? There's correlation, but correlation does not equal causation. Right? The reason that the child mortality goes up with ice cream consumption, they found in this study, was actually because kids eat ice cream beside the seaside or beside a river, or where there could be accidents. And if we look further at Adrian Swinscoe, one of my favorite customer experience gurus from the UK, get his book, Punk CX is great. He talks about a customer he went to see. He's a consultant, a financial services customer who who hired a whole data science team to find out how to optimize the online funnel. It took one smart guy in the contact center manager, to just come in with a box of donuts and ask his agents, where do you think our problems are? And the results that came from that session far outweighed the results that came from the data science team, and they actually implemented those those capabilities from that. So hear your agents, hear what they're asking for, get them involved in the iteration of your customer experience, and instead of seeing your self-service journeys and your portals and your agents as two siloed things, what we allow you to do is bridge the gap between those two, the online and the offline, in order to optimize that agent and customer experience. Lastly, let's talk about visual, because visual is really, really important. We're visual creatures. You look at the rise of Instagram and Snapchat, you have to connect with your customers visually. It's very important. Most of the information we receive is transmitted, of the information that's transmitted is visual. And co-browsing, what Surfly focuses on, has a higher satisfaction than any other service live assist communication channel. This was a report from Forrester's. And if we look at what Gartner are saying, they see our technology as a hidden gem for enabling the differentiation between and bridging that gap between the human and the AI-driven interactions. You're probably thinking, yeah, so what's new? Well, I've heard screen sharing and Zoom and Teams, completely different technology. With our technology, your digital assets become the collaboration platform. There's no software to be downloaded. Your agent or customer clicks on a button on a portal and they connect with an agent. With security, we can mask sensitive data, as I'm going to show you this in a second. And we can also keep that data. We do not store anything GDPR compliant. And it just makes, we can make sure, even with our audit log capability, that we understand what's happening in a session. So you're fully compliant. We don't share the whole desktop. So there's no litigation issues, of an agent or a customer sharing something they shouldn't have. And we provide a more active experience than that of screen sharing. And bottom line, we sit across all of your digital tools, all of your assets, contact center platforms, CRMs, and just create a more collaborative experience over your existing investments. We're not a platform. We integrate seamlessly with all of the tools you're using. So as a summary, focus on culture, brand recognition, humans first, extend the value proposition, expand on those partnerships. And as Bryan also said, enable your agents to cross-sell or upsell, go beyond the data, bridge the gaps between your portals and your agents, engage visually to connect emotionally, and sell that peace of mind. And we're going to shift gears now, and I'm going to show you a demo in just a few minutes. On the right-hand side, we have a Aviva application. On the left-hand side, we have Surfly. What we can do is and this is a live demo, guys, because we do not work with Aviva. So I'm just showing you how easy this is to implement, this collaborative experience within, within your own domains. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a button, a Get Live Help button over here on Aviva. I haven't hacked them, so any Aviva people don't call security. It's only on my machine. And let's imagine now an agent is on the left. This could be an advisor hub, a CRM, whatever you want, contact center platform, so they don't need to use our application. On the right-hand side, there's a customer. Customer's on the phone with the agent. Agent asks customer to press the Get Live Help button. This instantly starts a co-browsing session on that domain, no Teams link or WebEx link. And that code is then given verbally by the phone over to the agent, who enters that. And as if by magic, we are now connected on the domain without any integration at all. Agent can then upgrade that experience into a video chat experience as easy as apple pie, as we usually say at Surfly, and customer can also join the video chat. And now we have a customer and an agent who are able to walk through a life or health quote. We can zoom in, zoom out. This works on mobile as well. So if there's a damage on a car or a home, customer can relay that back in real time to an assessor. We can add people to the session. So we can add, as many people, 25 people. If it's an underwriter, if husband needs to bring the wife into the journey, they can do. And the agent can now help that customer to point things out without any quality loss. We're very low latency solution compared to some of these other tools. And when it comes to getting a quote, as you can see here, if you see what I've done here on the left-hand side, I've masked specific elements on that journey, so the agent you can be in full control, you're fully compliant, and make sure that the agent cannot see credit card numbers, social security numbers, or whatnot. So very, very easy, very sleek experience. We can switch that control back to the agent. Now the agent can take control of this session. And you can make this a collaborative experience, unlike a sharing my screen. Can you see my screen yet? None of that is needed. And when it comes to connecting to one of your partner websites, sure, if it's a car claim, why don't you extend that and help that customer to go over to an avis.com, for example, if they're one of your partners, or to one of your bank websites, if it's you want to show a mortgage on an RBS or HSBC. You can connect things up all securely. Everything happens on that one domain. If customer gets bored and goes to Facebook, agent cannot follow, so very secure. And when it comes to finalizing the policy, for example, we can bring in a policy from a repository. I'm actually going to bring a TD one here, but just to show you what I mean. And we can enable the real-time e-signature so that customer and agent can complete that policy from end to end as they come onto the website. Agent is then able to insert a signature like this. Whoops. That's what you get when you get to trying to do demos really fast. But they can create a signature, and they can switch that control over to the customer. Customer can then insert their signature, and we can then go on to a payment portal, switch back to the agent so they can complete theirs. And let's see. And we have a completed policy. There it is. It's on the paper, but that's it. I know I've got a few minutes more than I was supposed to, but I hope you like what you've seen today. If you do want to find out more, you can email me, Tariq@surfly.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn. We've even got a 14-day trial, and if you want that virtual goodie bag, it's on the right-hand side. But thank you very much for your time, and I know it's a bit over. Apologies for that, but I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. And a big thank you to the people at Global InsurTech Summit for the opportunity. See you later, guys. Have a good one.